Kevin, I wish you would continue on that search program, but I believe you get more people.
Yes, it will, because the big worry on search is the first person on the scene is in charge. And everybody works, it works like the military, that's what it says. Okay. The next person that comes on scene, if Tom shows up, the first responder that shows up, they're in charge. Nobody else. That's fine. And I with just listening to all the crap that's going on, I don't see, how can I put it, the operation working the way it should.
Once again, it's a handful of people, it always is. And Steve's
Those
been on
people
board.
probably
He
don't
knows
go
that.
anymore.
Steve, out of anybody's been on board as many times as anybody. He knows it's always you have a handful of people who want to stir up trouble.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
It's around. And it'll be embarrassing for me to get, because the other catch on getting search training in here, you also have monthly meetings with further training. How many people pay for AED and CPR training? Pay for it out of your pocket.
I get it free.
That's something we were talking about.
Yeah.
for work.
I get it free.
I'll put it this way, search training is nothing.
Well, what's the hold up? What's the light done yet?
Because he's unsure.
Well, we need to make.
No, I wouldn't answer me. I'm asking questions. There's more people sitting here right now. I'm here too, probably 3/4 are in there wanting to come.
Because of the unrest, I'll put it that way.
Well, let's change it.
Let's change that.
I'm gonna,
All right.
Because everybody has to work together on both of these aspects.
Not everybody's going to work together, but the majority of us would really like to see you out there.
Everybody has to work together as a team.
Not everybody in the world on anything does that. But I think we've got enough people out here that would be very interested in doing this.
And
I can keep going,
besides,
Anything else?
one of my long-range plans is that I'm trying to get a food pantry for this area. We are not covered by, we could go to Sullivan. I work in the Bourbon Food Pantry, but we can't get it because we're not in Washington, we're in Washington County, in Crawford or Leesburg area. So I am working with the Food Search and the food bank to get a certified food pantry out here. And I'm going to have to work with the board, not just you guys, but please know this in the future that, because they have some regulations, and of course, I don't want to run a business in my home. I know all that. I can't put it in the basement anyway. But in order for us, and I'm in this same position, it's a lot of work to get it certified and to get it done. And we're hoping it's probably going to be on the outside of Woodland Lakes, because it's not just for Woodland Lakes residents. It would be for, because the closest one is Sullivan that our editors could go to. And then there's a lot of people that are in Washington County that can't, 20 miles is a lot away. You don't have any food, you don't have any gas either to get there. So we're working on it. Just know that that's in the plans and something, and we're going to have some help with the board of maybe some variances of a lot or something. I don't know all that. Just know that there are several of us working very hard to get that accomplished in this area.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I raised my hand a moment ago when he was on one subject. First of all, I just wanted to, we were told by the front gate that this meeting started at 10. We walked in at 22 and it was already in session.
All meetings.
I didn't see any time posted, and I asked specifically when we came in the front gate, and they told us 10, so.
All meetings for board, open board meetings are at 9 a.m.
Thank you for that clarification.
The other meetings, the property owners meetings start at 10. Those are only in April and in October.
Okay.
Those are at 10. All others are at 9.
So this meeting is defined as which?
This is a board meeting.
The board meeting, so any property owners are included in that night.
They may
Front, but the front
they
gate should have known that to tell me 9 o'clock instead of 10.
Also, if there was nothing listed on the website, and there's worth the time, that might be fine.
Yeah, I live an hour away.
We just have
Yeah, well, I mean,
So do I. Tom may have some input for us on that subject right there.
Which I messed up, so.
Yeah.
The input I'd like to give you is that, going back to what Dave said earlier, there is, according to the judge, and down in Washington County, because of cases that we've had, it's only a handful of people, it's not the majority. Most of the people in here are very good people, but every now and then we have a troublemaker, and the board has to ban them from common ground.
And what's defined as a troublemaker? Someone who just asks a question?
Someone that,
because they don't
no,
know.
it's someone that usually commits a crime, or commits an assault, or threatens people, and the board usually meets on it, and they decide to ban that individual. He's notified either in person or in writing not to trespass on the common ground. If he does, then it becomes a crime. It's not an internal thing. And then what I do is I take the case and I go to the prosecuting attorney. He files it with Judge Hyde, and I'm not going to mention any names. We have had to prosecute people before for trespassing on common ground when they were told to leave or when they were banned. Because there is a separate entity there between the private property owner and trusteeship property. The judge has recognized that, and we've got case precedent on it where he's found people guilty of
Now,
trespassing.
when they're given that letter, are they given the letter to be defined as to why they're being banned, or are they
It's-
generally told to stay out?
It's specifically spelled out, but like the prosecuting attorney said, I was quoting the prosecuting attorney, not that this board has ever done it. I have never witnessed it in 9 years that I've been here, so you can't accuse this board of it. But if the board wanted to be that way, according to the prosecutor, the trespassing law can be enforced for a reason as simple as, I don't like you. Now, has this board ever done that? No, because their ethics are higher than that. I think personally, just because you don't like someone is no reason to ban them from common ground. To me, you need a more justifiable reason. And the board has never done that, to the best of my knowledge, based upon the fact that they don't like somebody. But keep in mind, the prosecutor has said, under the state trespassing law, that the reason for banning or charging someone with trespassing can be as simple as, I don't like you. If you had someone in your front yard and you called me to the scene and you wanted them removed, I'm obligated under the law to respect your right to enforce the law and remove them. And if you want them charged, I have to charge them. And I'm obligated on that. And the board being the keeper of the property and representing you on this property, just like this building, it belongs to the trusteeship. If they wanted to prosecute, they could. Usually they don't. I've only had a handful of cases in 9 years where I've had to prosecute somebody for trespassing on common ground. I've even had one individual that came back and challenged it while he was on probation, and the judge had to spank him again a second time.
Is that person allowed to come to the property owner meetings? 'Cause
I
say,
do
for
believe
example,
the board has made an exception in those cases in the past because they're a property owner, that they are allowed to come to the 2 public meetings every year. Now, a meeting like this, if they're banned from common ground, they most likely, I believe their policy has been in the past to not allow them to be here. But the 2 public meetings, they want to give them the right to be there and to vote. And it's like a temporary lifting of the ban, so they can come here and vote and participate and then leave.
So are they refunded any of that assessment that they had paid for a 12-month period, even though they're not allowed to use what they paid their assessments for on that property? And what happens to that property since now they are permanently banned from that property? Do they have the right to sell it? Do they have the right to rent it?
No, we're talking about common ground, we're not talking about their private lot.
Okay,
Their
but they
private lot is
don't,
theirs.
as you said, they don't have access to it. They don't have access to maintain it. They don't have access to get their property because they were
Then
only
that's
given
when
20
they-
hours. Because if you're, for example, if it were me, I have a camper out there, I have no place to store it. I cannot personally store it on my home in St. Louis County.
Right.
I would have to make arrangements. I have a shed that I physically can't just hook up to the back of my truck and
Right.
fill out. There's property inside that shed. It would take me longer than 2 or 3 hours
For you to
get
be-
my property off of.
For you to be in that situation where you couldn't get to your property, like the board stated a while ago, you would have to have done something that was in violation of the indenture or the rules to where they denied you vehicular access. You can still walk in. You can still come in and get in someone else's car.